Hi, it's immigration attorney Christian Zeller. It's Wednesday, September 27th, 2023, and today's update is about the looming government shutdown. A federal government shutdown, which is anticipated to begin October 1, 2023, will undoubtedly affect various U.S. immigration and visa programs differently depending on their funding sources. In the event of a government shutdown, non-essential personnel will be furloughed and they won't be allowed to work. Programs funded by you with filing fees, such as USCIS and the Department of State, may experience limited operations but are unlikely to come to a complete halt. All these functions are dependent on congressional appropriations, are likely to cease all non-essential activities. So let's talk about the various agencies and how that may impact your pending case. First, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, where most of you have pending cases. USCIS is primarily funded by stakeholder fees, by you, and typically remains operational during a shutdown. Exceptions, of course, include a few USCIS programs like E-Verify, the J1 Conrad 30 Doctors Program, and non-minister religious workers. And those will or may be temporarily suspended. Although E-Verify may be unavailable for members during the shutdown, affected employers will not be penalized for I-9 processing delays under that program. The State Department, or DOS, visa and passport operations, which are funded by fees, your fees, are expected to continue without any significant disruption. Consular availability and processing, of course, may be affected in some cases, depending on the post overseas and ancillary impacts of the shutdown on various consular operations. At some posts, it'll be possible that services may be limited to only diplomatic visas or extreme emergencies. Next agency is the U.S. Department of Labor, or the DOL, and that's probably the most impacted because it is not funded by you. So the processing of LCAs, the labor condition applications for H-1Bs, H-1B1s, and E-3 petitions will definitely cease during a shutdown. Similarly, processing of prevailing wage determinations for the PERM labor certification process and other Department of Labor Office of Foreign Labor Certifications, the OFLC, operations will certainly stop. So DOL/OFLC personnel will not be able to respond to any of your inquiries. The web-based systems will be, for filing status and checks, will be shut down, and document uploads will not be possible. So deadlines related to DOL applications and procedures are typically adjusted. At least that's what we have seen in the past. Next agency is ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE enforcement and removal operations will persist during a shutdown. ICE attorneys will although focus on the detained docket only. The good news is that the ICE Student and Exchange Visitor Program for students impacted. People are F1s, J1s, and M1s will remain operational because it is not affected because it is fee funded by you, the students. Next agency is Immigration Courts, the Executive Office of Immigration Review. Immigration courts on the detained docket will continue during a funding lapse. However, non-detained docket cases will be rescheduled for later dates whenever the funding is going to resume. Final agency is CBP, Customs and Border Protections. Of course, essential operations like passenger and cargo inspections and law enforcement will continue despite the government shutdown and the lapse of funding. The ports of entry will, of course, remain open, and passenger processing at land, sea, and airports will proceed. However, the border processing of some visa classifications will be impacted. That would include TNs, H-1Bs, L-1s, non-immigrant visa waivers, particularly at the Canadian-US border posts. So there you have it. That's my opinion based on past experiences and other sources. But of course, note that the impact of a government shutdown may vary, may not be the same as in the past, and we'll have to check with the relevant agencies for updates and specific instructions during those times. So stay tuned for updates and make sure to subscribe to the immigrationhelpchannel.com.